Nigga, we on worldwide television. Can you fight this nigga talking mad shit, man?
No, because you're a piece of shit.
I, Jake Joseph Paul, will knock out, defeat, and embarrass Anthony Joshua.
His second fight at heavyweight against a bona fide knockout.
The boxing world has just seen something truly shocking as Mike Tyson went after Jake Paul following Anthony Joshua's brutal performance that stunned everyone. Paul's confidence vanished along with his injured jaw, making it clear to many that his tough talk was empty. The crowd erupted as Tyson unleashed harsh words that left Paul embarrassed and exposed, turning the moment into a public downfall that few will forget.
Down to the body with the right hand for Anthony Joshua. There's a big left now.
December 19th, 2025 turned into a night where reality hit hard. Anthony Joshua stepped into the ring to face Jake Paul, and once it was over, Paul was not just defeated, he was completely broken. His jaw was shattered, his confidence was crushed, and the crowd watched in total shock. The arena was filled with disbelief, not only because of how brutal the fight became, but because it finally exposed years of Jake Paul's loud talk and online hype being wiped out by true world-class talent. For years, Paul built his image on empty threats and attention-chasing moves, constantly claiming he could beat everyone from past legends to today's champions. When the final rounds ended, none of that talk meant anything anymore. The moment became even more intense when Mike Tyson stepped in, fired up and ready to rip into the young star in a way that was brutal, shocking, and impossible to forget.
The uppercut, and he took it! Jake Paul took it!
Before this moment, Jake Paul had carefully built an image of being fearless and impossible to beat. He constantly bragged about being the best fighter alive and repeatedly claimed he could destroy anyone who dared to face him. Through press events, social media outbursts, and endless video clips, he regularly disrespected boxing legends like Anthony Joshua and even Mike Tyson himself.
Mike Tyson himself.
Oh, the right hand right! Oh!
Even if he does land his best shot at the moment, not that much is going to happen.
His fight promotion style was full of loud promises, non-stop threats, and that unbearable smugness he proudly carried everywhere. He thrived on talking big, creating drama, and building hype while presenting himself as an unstoppable force who could face anyone. But when it came time to actually fight, his real ability often told a very different story.
Told a very different story.
No one's done more for the sport of boxing in the past decade than myself, so I think if people really cared about boxing, they'd want me to win.
Paul's entire attitude was built on something that was never truly solid. His biggest claim to real credibility came from that questionable win over Mike Tyson back in November 2024. He used that one fight as his main defense whenever people challenged his status. He repeated it constantly. He pushed the idea that he was not just an internet star pretending to box, but a real fighter who had beaten a living legend. Now, after Anthony Joshua knocked him out tonight, Paul claimed his jaw was fractured by the brutal shot seen in the footage. Let's break this down.
Two-time world champion.
Former two-time world champion. Fast forward to December 19th, 2025, when Anthony Joshua stepped through the ropes. From the opening bell, it was clear this would not be another hype-driven circus. Joshua was fully in control from start to finish. Every punch he landed sent a clear message that real champions do not rely on talk, they deliver punishment, they absorb pressure, and they finish fights. By the middle rounds, the damage to Jake Paul was impossible to miss. His jaw was completely broken, and with each clean shot his long-held confidence began to crumble bit by bit. The usual smirk and arrogance on his face vanished and was replaced by shock and pain. He had spent months claiming dominance, mocking legends, and promising victory, yet nothing he said prepared him for the reality unfolding in front of him.
But none of that prepared him for what was.
The reaction from the crowd made the moment even more intense as fans erupted for Joshua with a mix of shock and satisfaction, watching a fighter who relied on words fall apart under real skill. Social media exploded as clips of Paul taking heavy punishment spread everywhere, exposing how his trash talk failed against real force. The gap between his bold promises before the fight and the harsh reality in the ring was impossible to miss. This was not just another fight, it felt like justice as hype collided with true ability and lost completely. This moment went far beyond a simple defeat and became the point where Paul's limits were exposed in the most public way possible. But the night did not end there, because Mike Tyson stepped in after the fight, bringing raw energy and visible anger. Tyson cornered Paul and tore into him with words that hit harder than punches, leaving no escape. All of Paul's excuses, strategy claims, and past wins were instantly destroyed by Tyson's brutal honesty. For someone who built a career on noise and controversy, this was the moment his image collapsed, showing the boxing world one clear truth: he could talk, but he could not fight.
Lighting up, everyone wondering what the hell is happening, and Joshua continues to chop down Paul. Joshua, the Predator, counter right. There's the right hand.
I'm a very respectful guy, brought up by a good family, but if I can kill you, I will kill you. That's just how
Mike Tyson did not calmly walk into the arena. After Joshua's crushing win, he stormed in like a force of nature, and everything shifted instantly. Fans who had just seen Jake Paul's jaw destroyed turned their focus to Tyson, knowing something serious was about to happen. The energy in the building changed as Tyson locked eyes with Paul, filled with rage and disbelief. The moment he stepped close, the tension hit a breaking point. This was not about respect or congratulations, and it was not friendly or supportive. It was raw anger, pure intensity, and a situation that felt ready to explode at any second.
One of the world.
respectfully. That's just the mentality we have to have as fighters. I don't know if any other fighter thinks that way. Maybe they're a bit more tamed. But the things I watch and the way my mind works, when you're in that ring, it's a dangerous place to be and anything can happen. You hope your opponent leaves the ring safely, but if they don't, you know, you still have to go to bed at night knowing that you just done your...
Tyson forced Paul back into a corner and unleashed a brutal verbal attack that sliced through all of Paul's hype. He shouted that Paul talks tough and acts fearless but collapses when it truly matters, and those words hit harder than any punch Joshua had thrown moments earlier. What made it even harsher was Tyson's authority, because this was not a random critic yelling nonsense. Tyson had fought Paul before, taken his shots, and gone the distance, so every word carried real weight. He did not need to prove himself because his career already did that. Paul, who had spent months trash-talking, mocking legends, and claiming he was unstoppable, suddenly looked exposed and embarrassed. His weak excuses, like saying he was holding back or that it was different this time, only made Tyson's attack more vicious, as each explanation was torn apart under Tyson's cold stare and blunt honesty in front of the entire world.
Thinking too, maybe Tank isn't used to being the beast.
The crowd's energy was off the charts. Some fans stood frozen in shock, mouths open, while others cheered with pure excitement, loving every second of Paul being taken down publicly. Cameras caught every flinch, every step back he made, and everyone in the arena felt the intensity. This wasn't just a verbal takedown, it was raw, unfiltered truth. Social media exploded as clips of Tyson confronting Paul spread instantly, with hashtags like Jake Paul destroyed and Tyson unleashed going viral within minutes. The moment wasn't just about the physical beating anymore, it was Paul's entire ego being torn apart for the world to see.
Arrogance and manufactured drama got instantly destroyed. Fans and haters.
Paul's meltdown was total, wobbly, bleeding, and utterly humiliated. There was no way for him to save face or protect his pride. Every ounce of confidence he had built online, every boast about beating legends, every viral moment of disrespect, all of it crumbled in seconds. His usual excuses about taking it easy meant nothing. Tyson's scathing words combined with Joshua's knockout exposed Paul for who he really was, someone who could talk big but couldn't deliver in the ring. The mental damage was huge. His internet persona, built on arrogance and manufactured drama, was destroyed instantly. Fans and critics alike couldn't get.
Because Anthony Joshua is out there saying that he's gonna kill.
The verdict from boxing legends made Paul's downfall even more crushing. Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury didn't hold back. Their comments were harsh but accurate. Paul can talk big, create buzz, and stir drama, but he doesn't fight like someone who truly belongs in the sport. Anthony Joshua's quiet presence nearby said it all. He had completely dominated Paul in the ring, while the so-called future of boxing fell apart for the entire world to see. Tyson's prior experience with Paul only proved how spot-on his verbal takedown was. When a legend like Mike Tyson exposes your bluff, there's no comeback. In the eyes of the boxing community, Jake Paul's reputation as a legitimate fighter was finished. He was no longer a real contender, just a sideshow whose mouth was bigger than his skills. That night delivered a lesson far bigger than the fights themselves. Trash talk, manufactured drama, and social media fame can never replace real skill, heart, and dedication. Paul's entire kingdom of bragging, controversy, and self-promotion was demolished by the harsh reality of true boxing. Tyson's role was symbolic, pure honesty, proving that hype alone can't survive when the bell rings. December 19, 2025 became more than just a fight. It became a night of absolute truth. Paul's reputation, built on noise and showmanship, was destroyed in the most brutal way possible. By the end, it was clear. Paul could run his mouth, fill arenas, and promote fights, but when the bright lights were on and real punches landed, he could not fight like a genuine champion. Joshua's physical domination, combined with Tyson's savage confrontation, left no room for debate. Words without substance are meaningless, and fame without real skill vanishes instantly. This chapter of Paul's story is a stark lesson in arrogance, overconfidence, and what happens when hype finally meets reality.